Hello, Andrew here again, and this is episode 100. Who would have thought we'd have got here? Today we're continuing in Matthew's Gospel in the Sermon on the Mount, and we're up to Matthew chapter 6, verses 19 through to 21. Do not store up for yourselves treasure on earth, where moth and rust consume and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust consumes, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Store up. The words that we see here for store up is a verbal form of treasure. It literally reads, do not treasure for yourselves treasures on earth. It's about how we live on this side of eternity. We'll always be concerned with protecting these treasures, with adding to them, with making sure we have enough. The tragic reality is that we never have enough. Even the wealthiest people are never satisfied. And whatever it is that somebody puts their energy and effort into to securing the treasure that they have on this side, whether it's their material welfare, their prosperity, whether it's their material goods, or whether it's, for example, their health, the fitness freaks, those who look at themselves in the mirror all day to see their muscles improving. The tragedy for them is it doesn't matter how amazing they look. It's never enough. They're never good enough. They're never perfect enough. Those who look at themselves in the mirror and are looking at the face to be younger and symmetrical and beautiful, it's never right. It's never enough. And of course the tragedy for all of those is that age has a way of taking care of things. Do not, says Jesus, store up your treasures in that place. We always have to have more. Why? Well, we're concerned with protecting these things, whether it's our financial resources, whether it's our muscles, whether it's our looks, because we imagine in some way that they're going to protect us. We're placing our security in their hands, protecting us from an unknown future, an uncertain future, a future that we cannot control. It seems to me a lot of things we do in life are intended to protect us from the uncertainty of the future and to give us the illusion of control. I look at the whole debate over euthanasia, that the end-of-life choice legislation, as it's called. It is to give people the illusion of control. That although they can't control the fact that one day they will die, because we know it gets 100% of us, the idea that they might be able to choose the moment gives them a sense of, well, at least I'm in control of that. It's all about the illusion of being in control. We imagine our treasure, whatever it is, can and will keep us safe. Jesus tells a parable of a man who can only think about gathering more and more. In Luke's Gospel we read that the ground of a certain rich man produced a good crop. He thought to himself, what shall I do? I have no place to store my crops. Then he said, this is what I'll do. I'll tear down my barns and build bigger ones, and there I will store all my grain and my goods. Then I'll say to myself, you have plenty of good things laid up for many years. Take life easy. Eat, drink, and be merry. And we know that that is rarely the case, because it's never enough. It's never enough, even if he managed to succeed in getting all that done. It still wouldn't have been enough. He still wouldn't have been content. He still wouldn't have been satisfied. In the parable in verse 20, but God said to him, you fool, this very night your life will be demanded of you. Then who will get what you've prepared for yourself? This is how it will be with anyone who stores up things for himself or herself, but is not rich toward God. In the end, we have little to no control. None of us knows what's ahead. We do our best to hedge our bets, yet there's no surefire way of protecting ourselves and making ourselves absolutely safe. We just can't do it. Our treasure, in the end, is what's important to us. That which we invest our lives in, our time, our talents, our resources, our mental energy. And Jesus is inviting us to let go of that which we imagine will protect us from an uncertain future on this side of eternity. Invest our lives, he suggests, on the other side. That's not accessible to rust or to thieves or to decay. Invest on the other side. Now, how do we do that? Well, actually, as we're going to be reading on over coming days, we'll see ways in which we do that. But first, I think it's by surrendering our need to secure this side. Trust that bit to God. The key to the passage is the last verse. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. If my treasure is on this side, we're in for grief. As I said, there'll never be enough. We cannot stop it from decaying, either by rust, the aging process, economic downturn or theft. And where you're going, you cannot take it with you. Like the old joke of a question asked at a very wealthy person's funeral. How much did he leave? Answer, all of it. American missionary though, Jim Elliot, killed by the Huaorani people in a cross-cultural disaster in Ecuador in January 1956. He had noted in his diary not long before he died, "He is no fool who gives what he cannot keep to gain what he cannot lose." Elliot saw himself investing in the other side of death, investing in eternity. He had a heart to make a difference in the lives of these people he was seeking to reach. His desire was that they'd enter into the fullness of life that he'd experienced since he'd met Jesus. And it's generosity towards others that Jesus encourages. Compassion, concern, a desire for the best of others. The story of the rich young ruler points in this direction. Its tragedy is that for this young man he was unwilling to trade the security he felt he had in his wealth and position for the adventure of a lifetime. All he had to do was walk away from what he had. Give it to the poor, Jesus said, and you'll have treasure in heaven. Then come and follow me. At that point he was making an investment. But no, it was too hard. He's not willing to make that kind of investment. We don't even know his name. What if he had? What if he had? Imagine his life. It could have been short or long, but he was free. And here's the whole point of it. Being free. What an adventure he might have had. Serving our treasure, particularly our temporal treasure, this side of eternity, is like penal servitude. And they're a hard taskmaster. They command our time, they command our resources, they command our loyalty, our constant care. They promise much. Supposedly security, and yet give us little in return. The tragedy is that the more security we seek, the more insecure we feel. I don't know if you've discovered this. I don't know if you've noticed it. I certainly have. I know this to be the case. And we can see some obvious examples around us. One of the things that was fascinated me was gated retirement villages. I mean, there's evidence that suggests that the more effort we go to make ourselves feel safe, like building high walls and putting in gates with security guards, the more effort we go to make ourselves feel safe, the less safe we end up feeling. It's just one of the ironies of life. Security is only available to those who are willing to step away from it, to trust to God that it's all going to be okay or not, and to get on with the adventure that we call life. It's a big ask, isn't it? Stepping away from that which we imagine is going to make us feel safe and say, okay, I'm willing to let it go, and to step into life with its unknowns, with its insecurity, trusting to God that it's all going to be okay. God bless you.